as we walk along through the garden, I thought I'd discuss with Erin my goals right now. This is my kind of like a laboratory, and I'm looking at plants that I can put in along the edge to crowd out weed competition, but yet they are so aggressive I can't put them in until the garden is 3 to 5 years old. This is Aster agratoides Tiny Theo. Tiny Theo is covered in little purple flowers in August and September. It's a beautiful plant, but it's very aggressive rhizomatously. So when it hits that allium summer beauty, stops dead. The crown of a 3 to 5 year old allium summer beauty isn't going to take it from the Aster agratoides and say, you know what, you're not going anywhere, buddy. But then it hits the edging, and look how beautifully it fills in along with the geranium sanguineum. And then I'm looking at this ajuga chocolate chips.
Yep.
Chocolate chips does about the same thing. You see how it crowds out the area, and I'm just being playful with things I can find that I can put along the edges. Another is Praine Smoke, Geum triflorum. I can put Geum triflorum, and a good friend of mine, Ken Williams, is using that everywhere to reduce weed competition because it covers the earth so quickly and it runs in between plants. So,
I love ajuga. I've been putting ajuga because it seems to grow basically everywhere. It seems
covers
to
the earth.
it seems to have no problem growing almost anywhere. So I love I love chocolate chips, and I like black scallop. I like that one too. I think both of those are nice.
And they both live.
Yes.
I can't kill chocolate chip.
Right. No.
The gaiety, all those traditional ones, they can winter kill and then come back.
Yeah.
But they winter kill and come back. And here's a plant I put along the edge, Succisella, I think it's Succisella inflexus. You can't put this plant in until the garden's 5 or 6 years old because it has an opportunity to seed everywhere. But when it seeds in, it can only seed in where it has the opportunity. So if the other plants aren't giving it an opportunity, it stays where it's at. But it gets this high, see how it fills in along the ground? And it's covered with white marbles in August, September.
Oh, really?
So this whole thing
nice.
is white marbles.
Oh, nice.
All through here. But
Nice.
I did make the mistake of putting it in a new garden, and it's seeded everywhere.
Yeah, okay.
So it's just something to be patient with. And
right, and that's one of the things that I've been learning so much from watching you is not to think of a garden project as something that you do in 1 or 2 years. It's a 3, 4, 5 year plan as you work in these things that maybe would take over otherwise, and that they all have a place in the garden so long as you've got the timing right essentially on it, and that they can work together.
It kind of frees people up emotionally to become gardeners.
Right.
Because gardening is an ongoing thing.
Yeah.
And we haven't come to know that yet in this country.
Right.
We're too immediate. I want everything done, and I want to go jet skiing.
Right.
Well, you gotta have continuity in your garden to keep it up.
Right.
So there's a lot of plants out there that give that opportunity for people when they discover it for themselves. Because usually I find gardeners become gardeners through self-discovery. They can't be told to be a gardener.
Right.
It's through their own emotional feelings. I say, you know what, I like what I'm doing. I want to keep moving forward. Yeah. And again, I have to go back to your show. What opportunities you create for people to find different ways to find beauty. And it's the best way to approach it. It's not by, if you buy this plant, you're a better gardener.
Right.
If you buy that plant, you're just buying plants.
Right.
But it's how you use them.
Right.
It's very cool.
Right. Well, thank you. Tell me a little bit more, because I'm very interested in the ground cover concept, because I'm really working. I don't want to use mulch ever. I hate the process of mulching. I don't like it. I've learned so much from you about all the reasons why like wood chip mulch is not a good thing. So what are some other sort of go-to ground covers that you have that you really love?
I like the salvias. And when you mix the salvias together, they can be planted densely because they have such a unique crown that allows the foliage, when it's not pruned back, to collect light to keep the crown strong. So I can almost put them pot to pot, so densely planted. So the salvias, and I don't deadhead them, because if you look at crystal blue, that's a beautiful green.
It is.
So then crystal blue with that beautiful green calyx will start to bloom blue again. So it'll be blue mixed with green, so it's kind of like a Monet moment.
Oh, so you're not doing any sort of shearing back. You just let these go, and then.
Yeah, you can see with Wisui.
Yeah.
Wisui is sending up all these new flowers.
Right.
And all the flowers will come through the old purple colored calyx.
Right.
So you have ongoing color. And then the time you would spend cutting everything back,
Right.
you could do other things.
Right. Oh, I love that idea. What a great idea
And
that
it
is.
keeps the light down from hitting the soil.
Right.
So the whole idea is keeping light from hitting
Right.
soil.
Right.
And the pensimons, they just seed it in. I put a few in, and then I just take out.
Take them
what
out where you
doesn't-
don't like.
yeah, where we don't feel.
That's
And this is our gravel garden. This I planted in 2008. I saw Cassian Schmidt in Hermanshof, and he had this whole gravel system, and he was telling me about it, and it was all native plants from Missouri, and he did no weeding. He weeded. He worked in the gravel garden twice a year. He cut it back, hauled it away, and basically it's 5 inches of quartzite over the earth, and that inhibits any weeds from coming through it.
Oh.
So you create a natural weed barrier, you plant the plants in the gravel, they root into the earth below, but you can never take them out and garden.
Right.
Because you'll bring soil into
Sure.
it.
Right.
So with that 5 inches of quartzite, the weeds don't come through. But here they do because I cheated.
Right.
When we put the edging in, I reduced,
Oh.
it went to 2 inches of gravel.
Okay.
So the weeds come through the gravel if you don't use the 5 inches.
Interesting.
And here all we do is cut it back, clean it up, and we take everything we cut back here, we have to clean it thoroughly so it doesn't become organic.
Sure. Right.
And we
oh,
throw it
right.
over here and mow it.
Oh,
So
so it just gets in.
just
It gets
throw it
into
up,
the
yeah.
into the pile that gets mowed.
We shove
That's
it over
great.
here, we mow it with the mulching mower, and it becomes debris and
Right.
mulch in this area.
Right.
But Jeff Epping at Old Botanic Garden has done the biggest gravel garden in the world at Epic in Verona.
Yeah.
It's over an acre. And there's not much to do.
Yeah.
It's like 45 cents a square foot.
Yeah.
And a $50 labor rate.
There.
So there's a future for this. And
Yeah.
actually now we're putting a gravel garden in around the biggest computer in the world, Argonne National Laboratory.
Oh, neat.
So it's kind of a good opportunity.
Oh, that's great. I love it.
And I think, again, this will show people the possibilities of alternative ways of thinking.
Absolutely.
But it's all Cassie and Schmidt.
Yeah.
That's why it's so good to travel.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And meet people.
Yeah.
Because there's somebody thinking up something that could add
Right.
value to what
Right.
we do.
Right.
So it's a lot of fun.
Wonderful. Neat. So tell me about what we have going on over here.
Oh, I'm glad you asked. This is 2 sedges. It's Carex remota and Carex grisea. And basically, they're a sedge that takes a lot of moisture, dry to moist soil, both of these. And it was just as a ground layer, living mulch, basically put a living mulch in. So it takes a lot of rain, it'll take modest drought, but the advantage is the deep penetrating root system for the moisture to get into the earth to benefit the woody plants.
So everything works together.
Yeah.
It's all
yeah,
it's all
kind
like
of
a little
system of
ecosystem.
living together. And we really have no weeding in here because once you get below 1,000-foot candles of light, weed seeds can't germinate. So this really reduces the light for us.
And about how old? I mean, how old are these plants, or how long does it take for
This is
if
probably
you plant this?
7 years old.
Okay.
But it did this the 3rd year.
3rd year, so 3
Yeah.
years to fill in,
Right.
and so before that, you're what, just hoeing in there to hoe the
You're
weeds out between them?
hoeing, You're crawling under there with the hoe, trying to get the weeds out. And this was filled with Canadian thistle. So we wore it out by pulling it.
So that's what you did with,
Yeah.
because Canadian thistle is such a thug.
It's a pain.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so that's what you, so you just kept pulling that, wore it out, and then now you've deleted.
Now
just
we're in good. There might be a thistle that pops up every now and then, and as soon as we see it, we go after
Out with it.
Yeah, so I think
Great.
about 7 years to wear it out physically.
Great,
To physically wear it out.
great.
But
Wow.
and we use these pocket sedge plantings on our residential plantings, and this is again a living mulch, so we don't have to bring wood.
Right, and so much better looking. I mean, I would much rather look at something like this under trees than the proverbial ring of mulch,
Right.
which, and we know how that can go wrong in so many ways. Even when it's, when it's applied poorly, we know the mulch volcano is a bad thing. So.
I saw by a hospital in Milwaukee, they mulched all the lamp posts. Like, okay, that's cool. Not only the trees, they're putting mulch around the lamp and the mailbox.
Well, the mulch will do less damage to the
Yeah, I guess
lamppost
the
than it does to the trees,
lampposts
right?
can take it, yeah.
There you go.
So they probably figured, we'll save the lampposts and kill the trees. Or
Right,
some,
right.
Or maybe they just had to get rid of the mulch before they went back to
Right.
the shop.
Right. Well, this is great. I planted last year a lot of Carex pennsylvanica around.
Yeah.
I have a big oak tree, so I planted that in that area from little 2-inch plugs. And this year, I mean, it's looking, obviously, there's a lot of weed competition between them,
Right.
but so far so good. It's doing really well.
The plant in Lake County Forest Preserve, this was in 1987, or 88, the drought year. They put Carex pennsylvanica on 4-foot centers in the Forest Preserve, 4 feet apart, and 25 years later, they all touched.
Oh,
So, and the forest birds have all the time in the
Right,
world.
right.
But it was kind of cool. They just keep moving slowly through. They only tended them 1 year. That first year they
Wow.
watered them. And in 25 years, that Carex pennsylvanica has knit together.
yeah.
So that's again, there's so many options of what we
Right.
can do to,
Yes.
to create healthy spaces. And I think the sedges are a tremendous plant.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, I feel like because of the work that you're doing, and many other plants people and garden designers, but I feel like we're all just discovering the sedges, right? Like many gardeners. I mean, I consider myself among them. 5 years ago, I had a vague concept of what they could do, but I didn't realize how they could really be used so effectively.
Well, and the cool thing is the sedges are very patient. They know it's going to take time for humans to figure it out. So they're in no hurry.
There you go.
They're there ready to serve a purpose when we figure out really how to put them in a place of success for,
Right.
For us and for the environment too.
Are there certain sedges that you find yourself that are sort of at the top of your list in terms of the ones you like to use the most?
ones I put at the top are the ones that don't flap open.
Okay.
Because I have to satisfy people's perspective of what they perceive beauty.
Okay.
And if the plant falls over, right, that looks like a deer slept on it. And
okay.
you prune it, but because the sedges come up with new growth after they flower,
Right.
they go vegetative. So Carex pennsylvanica, Carex albicans, Carex jamesi, Carex montana, they don't flop.
Okay.
And then you can add some architectural sedges like digitalis or woodeye, which are natives, but they're darker green.
Oh, okay.
And blanda's a dark green.
Oh, okay.
And then you can mingle that in, so you can kind of have an impressionistic
Right.
tones of green.
Right.
But pennsylvanica is the workhorse along with Carex albicans right now
Okay.
because they don't flop.
Right. Great. Good. Great suggestions there. Wonderful.